Now, from Wish TV, this is The Zone Extra, presented by Franciscan Health Sports Medicine. Coming up tonight, state tournament action continues, and football enters the home stretch of the regular season. In the Coach's Corner, Charlie Clifford is joined by the man bringing success back to Monrovia football. Plus, our Athlete of the Week is one of the state's top volleyball players who hopes to lead Roncalli on a deep tourney run.
Leaving a mark on this program is like my dream. Like, winning a state title is what I've dreamed since I was in kindergarten.
We're off to the races. The Zone Extra starts now.
Evening, everybody. Thank you for stopping by. I'm Charlie Clifford. We begin with golf state champions, postseason action in soccer, and great football play. The playoffs are just around the corner. Now tonight in Coach's Corner, he's quickly putting Monrovia football back into the spotlight. Bulldogs head coach Andy Olson is here. Can't wait for that conversation. Plus, before heading to the University of Texas next year, our Athlete of the Week with unfinished business at Roncalli, we introduce you to Emma Halter. Also, we bring you the latest installment of Ask the Commish with Paul Neidig of the IHSAA, and you can find out how you can be part of our show. Let's start by checking in with the past week in high school sports. We entered the third to final week of the regular season last Friday. Plenty of great action on the gridiron. Number 2 Westfield locked in a good one with Avon. The Orioles, who else? Tie it up for Sean McCray, touchdown. He's the best receiver in the state for my money, but Westfield immediately responds. A 99-yard kickoff return, and the Rocks go on to win. Also in the Hoosier Crossroads, Hamilton Southeastern hosted Noblesville. This was all Royals. HSE now 6-1 on the season in the Mid-State. An upset at Mooresville. Hit the alert button. High-flying offense of the 4th-ranked Pioneers held to just 14 points by Whiteland. The Warriors get a 10-point win. And in the MIC, it's a top 10 showdown between Lawrence North and Warren Central. LN down 15 in the third. They fight all the way back. Seconds to go. Sophomore kicker Matthew Dempsey. The field goal is good. The Wildcats win a thriller 24-21.
I mean, he's a sophomore. It's a sophomore kicker. And he just knocked one in the first half off the upright, you know? So there's a lot of hope right there when we called for that, too. So
I was pretty calm, actually. I knew I had to make one at some point. So happy that was the one.
Omar Cooper also a big score in that one late, as you just saw. Now in the Hoosier Crossroads, Brownsburg looking to bounce back from a Week 6 loss to second-ranked Westfield. The Dogs hosted Zionsville. Brownsburg strong in all 3 phases. Picked up the win 19-6 after the game. Head coach John Hart with us on the Zone FaceTime Friday conversation if you missed it.
Momentum's a huge part of high school sports, and you know, we've had 2 punts blocked in the 2 losses we've had, and it's really been the difference in the games. And you know, we always tell kids, you know, hey, if you dominate special teams, you always win the game. Now, if you can win special teams and not win, or lose special teams and win, but if you dominate, you're going to guarantee a win, and we were pretty dominating tonight.
Coach, I'm looking up and down the conference. I know the MIC gets a ton of the love, but can you give your conference some shout out? We got 4 or 5 win teams. This race is just as good as anywhere throughout the state. Your take on what you're in the middle of?
Well, you know, if you take somebody like Avon and probably one of the best coaches that I've ever went against, and Coach Bless, I mean, they've not got to win, and they're probably one of the scariest teams you could possibly play. So you can go all the way to one end, all the way to the other end in Westfield, who's winning the conference right now. Man, there's some really good teams.
The HTC has just been fun. Meanwhile, a disturbing scene Friday night as gunshots were fired just outside the Ben Davis football stadium during the 4th quarter of a game between Carmel and Ben Davis, sending players and fans running for cover. Authorities say a 16-year-old boy was shot in the arm, taken to the hospital in stable condition, and an 18-year-old man was arrested. Greg Rakestraw of the ISC Sports Network was calling the game on our sister station, Miami TV 23. He spoke to our Sierra Hignite on the scene.
Literally time slows down and things like that, and so I cited to you I heard that noise. I kind of looked right, please tell me that's fireworks, and it wasn't. And then I have to kind of make the decision, hey, do I say on the air what I think this is? And I did by saying, folks, I think we've had gunshots here. You saw the reaction of everybody that was on the field. Everybody kind of got down. People, tried to get away from that corner of the stadium as immediately as possible. After a few minutes, it was decided, hey, there's no reason to continue this football game. Let's call this now with 6:25 left to go. I've been doing this for 25 years, and clearly nothing like this has ever happened to me before.
We commend the first responders and the safety workers on the scene that night. Thank you to Greg Rakestraw for his comments. Now, we officially have our first IHSA state champions of the new season. Last weekend, the girls golf state finals held at Prairie View Golf Club in Carmel. Evansville North repeating as champs. As for the individual champ, familiar face as well, LAPEL'S Macy BEESON, defending her title, becoming only the 7th golfer in state history to repeat as a champion. And the first, BEESON shot a final round 74, I should say, defeating Evansville's North's Chloe Johnson by just 1 shot. So congrats to all, beginning with Miss BEESON on a wonderful season. Now on the pitch, sectional week for boys and girls soccer. Things kicked off Monday night with teams chasing a title at Noblesville Monday night Mud Sox Showdown. Boys tournament, top-ranked Fishers and Hamilton Southeastern. The Tigers get on the board first. Noah Reinhardt, goal, leads 1-0. And less than a minute into the second half, Fishers doubles its lead. Another goal to lead to a 3-1 victory when it's all said and done. Time for a quick break. We have much more ahead on the Zone Extra. Up next, Coach's Corner. Look who's in the house. Bulldogs in the middle of a great season. Monrovia head coach Andy Olson joins us for a conversation. Plus, as the Royals gear up for volleyball sectionals next week, we meet one of the team's star, our athlete of the week at Roncalli. That's next.
This is the Zone Extra, presented by Franciscan Health Sports Medicine. The Coach's Corner, presented by Junk King.
Welcome back to the Zone Extra. It is time for Coach's Corner, and a special guest tonight as Monrovia head football coach Andy Olson joins us. Coach, Monrovia is 5-2. I repeat, Monrovia is 5-2. What is this buzz like around town? You've had quite the turnaround here.
Just the entire community has been so supportive. It's great to finally see the stands packed again and hear the crowd roaring, and just people are excited. That was the goal from the first day, is just to get the boys excited, their parents, the community, everybody.
We've seen the student sections just off the charts this year. Have you been ready to run through a wall when those pregame music's blaring and you're trotting out onto the field?
The kids play what they'll play on the music, but it's Coach Gill that gets me fired up, my D coordinator. He's fantastic at getting the kids fired up. He's a little bit younger than I am, so he connects a little bit better with them. I'm reasonably young, I like to think myself, but he gets them pretty fired up, ready to go.
Well, hey, we need to shout out Max, who's on staff as well, a youngster here who's been giving us great highlights of really the 5 victories this year. You've had some stellar play, and here we go. Here's the bar where it's set. 2015, we see the state championship sign. I know you're trying to climb back that way, but just your takeaways from consistency. You've lost to 2 teams. They're both unbeaten, Coach. You haven't let any games really get away. What are your thoughts? What do you tell your players tonight?
The goal from week 1 was to get better each week. We played Ritter. We felt like we played great. Moving forward, we had a couple non-conference games, and we feel like we're accomplishing our goal. There's things that we can improve on each week, and we try to do that, and I think the kids are doing it. The season it's felt really short so far. To be in week 8, it seems impossible.
Right.
But beating a really good Speedway team, Beech Grove, other teams in the conference, it's just been an excellent confidence builder.
You're looking at the Speedway win. This is a walk-off win, essentially, no?
Yeah, that was a crazy game. It was just back and forth in the last 2 minutes. We do a 2-minute drill every Thursday to prepare for that exact moment, and it pulled through for us.
I know Mark Janes, the man who hired you, some tough feelings for him. His son's the D coordinator at Speedway. We may get a matchup down the road playoff time.
Absolutely.
We'll let that one rest for a little bit. But I want to talk just your vision, your philosophy. You take over a team that hadn't won a game last season. You had experience as a coach on staff, 2 years at Lebanon as an offensive coordinator. You come back, you're trying to sell a vision. What was it on day one that you were trying to preach, Coach? Love each other. You know, I showed them the love that I had for them. I knew them as elementary kids. I was their PE teacher when they were super young. I know almost, you know, all the kids I was inheriting. So I was excited to get back and, you know, take over and bring them up from where they were at and just show them that love and help them love each other and love their families and community. And, you know, that's what it's really all about. They're lucky to have you. Let me tell you that tonight. And as we look ahead to the schedule, what stands out? Couple road games here, Coach. The home fans, you got to get on the road to see the Bulldogs. Try to get them to 7 wins heading into postseason. What do you see on the last 2 here?
You know, at Cascade, that's been circled on our schedule for, you know, the last 300 or so days. You know, the sectional loss last year. I know the boys were chomping at the bit to get to them. And then Cecina, you know, that's always such a well-coached team. Tons of good athletes, good players. It's always a slobber knocker when you play them. And, you know, they're going to be a good test as well.
Now, the big TBA on the 22nd, we have a sectional draw here that, again, it looks interesting. I hinted at Speedway before. What stands out? Who you may have to run into on the 22nd, Coach?
There's not a team there that's a slouch. You know, you got Lafayette LCC,
yeah,
and they're just, you know, they're always good. They're, you know, one of those private schools that just seems to reload every year, and they do a great job of it. Their coach is fantastic. Speedway obviously had a nail biter with them. It'd be nice if those two played each other right away. Southmont plays in a very good conference. We saw Seeger's excellent quarterback over the summer. I mean, there's nothing in that sectional that makes me happy, really.
Coach Olson, it's been just a joy to watch what you've done here in 2 short seasons, and I know you were a part of that 2015 run.
Yep.
And I know that's the vision going forward, so we'll be cheering you on until you get there, all right?
Appreciate it.
Thanks a million.
Yep.
We'll be back here on the Zone Extra. It's time for our Athlete of the Week. Speaking of state championships, this top volleyball player in the state gearing up for an unforgettable postseason run are Olivia Ray with Roncalli's Emma Halter, plus Play of the Week. And here's a hint. It's a familiar face from maybe just 1 week ago. I said I already knew who the top wide receiver was in the state. Maybe I was wrong. You can decide next.
This is the Zone Extra, presented by Franciscan Health Sports Medicine.
A varsity starter as a freshman, Emma Halter continuing to just stuff the stat sheet at Roncalli. She tallied 1,000 digs by her sophomore season, 2,000 by junior year, and now nearly 600 ahead of sectionals this year. According to our Olivia Ray, this star senior has one last mark she would like to make on the Roncalli program.
You watched her come in as a freshman at our 9th grade camp, and we knew she was something special the day she walked in.
Since that moment in 2018, Emma Halter has been a game-changing presence for Roncalli volleyball. As an immediate varsity starter, she earned all-state honors in each of her first 3 seasons, and the defensive specialist has the Royals ranked 5th in the state as the tournament nears.
I've been here for 4 years. We haven't made it out of the regional, and that's the goal. Leaving a mark on this program is like my dream. Like, winning a state title is what I've dreamed since I was in kindergarten, and I think this team can do that.
Emma keeps our play alive, and also she brings a lot of energy and a lot of knowledge to the team. And when you have someone like that in the backcourt, somebody who puts her whole heart and soul into the game, you want her to be recognized. And, you know, when you're a back row player, a libero, you don't always get the recognitions. You're not getting the big blocks and the big kills. So, you know, it's great that she's being recognized.
Halter has earned nods as Max Prep's best player in Indiana, and with nearly 3,000 career digs, she's among the top liberos in the country.
Honestly, confidence in my ability to just fly myself on the floor and my quick feet. I work really, really hard outside the court to be quick, and I want the girls to know that they can trust me and that I have their back on and off the court.
Halter's also earned the trust of the top-ranked Texas staff, where she will continue her playing career at the nation's #1 ranked collegiate program in Austin. Olivia Ray, Wish TV, wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook.
A star libero heading to the Lone Star State, but as Olivia said, still a little unfinished business. All the best. That was excellent. Now, quick break here on the Zone Extra. Up next, Ask the Commish time. Paul Neidig, plus a preview of the Zone tomorrow night. We are ready for some postseason football. 2 weeks to go, people. We'll be back.
This is the Zone Extra, presented by Franciscan Health Sports Medicine.
Welcome back to the Zone Extra. Charlie Clifford with you here tonight. It is time for Ask the Commissioner. Each week we take one of your questions, give it to the IHSA Commissioner Paul Neidig, and here is his answer. The question first, with the postseason upon us for fall sports, are you a proponent of blind sectional draws, or would you eventually like to see some sort of seeding process?
Tournament draw and blind draw or seeding the tournament is something that has always been debated, and it always will. But I'm really kind of a purist when it comes to Indiana, and we've never had a seeded tournament. And there's something about when you've got a season that may be have been a little bit tough along the way, and you may get an injured athlete back, or you get a good draw and you get a chance to get that win as you're finishing your year, or that sometimes turns into 2 years and or 2 wins. And we've seen teams that carry it all the way to sectional championships that have been unseeded. They just get on a roll right at the end. I think that adds an element to our tournament that people really enjoy, and fans come out to watch those games. So I've always been a proponent of the blind draw. The ping pong balls are put in that machine, and they come out in the order as they do, and I just think it adds to our tournament.
A point for the ping pong balls and the purists out there tonight on the Zone Extra. Thank you, Mr. Commish. Here is how you can submit your questions. Send us a tweet, use the hashtag the Zone Extra, and ask the Commish, and your questions on the show. It's that easy. Get it done. Now, one of our favorite parts covering high school sports is your passion. We've seen it across this fall season everywhere. And the prestigious Zone banner school spirit, it's right there in Hamilton Southeastern, maybe in the mix after what we saw this week.
I hand-caught this shirt from the Anthony Calhoun. We want the banner!
Good catch and well done on social media. This is what the students are competing for, the Zone Championship banner presented by Crew Car Wash. We're giving the huge banner to the school that is in the zone and has the best spirit. Which high school walks away in 2021? The undisputed Top Spirit Award. It's going to your school if that's the case. We will find out next month. Now it's time for our top play of the week. Each week we feature one of the top plays from around our crazy world of Central Indiana high school sports. This is your top play. This is becoming the Omar Cooper Top Play of the Week show. Makes a guy miss, breaks tackles, and all of a sudden a 15-point deficit against Warren Central. No, Lawrence North is tied. Omar Cooper right in the conversation for the most talented pass catcher in the state. Rashawn McCray of Avon also right there. Well done play of the week, a double deuce for Omar Cooper. Now, you could find your play on this show. Again, you tweet us your videos, use the hashtag #TheZoneExtra, watch next Thursday night, and oh my gosh, I put Omar's play in and it's on television. It is that easy. Your MyND TV 23, your home for high school sports. Tomorrow night, good one, 6-1. Carmel, ranked 4th, hosting 9th-ranked Warren Central. You see all the action live with Greg Rakestraw on MyND TV 23, kickoffs at 7. Big night of high school sports across Central Indiana. AC has the Zone tailgate from Franklin. We'll have all the action, 22 games in the Zone tomorrow night starting at 11:08. Let's take a look at some of the top games here. Cathedral, Buff. These two teams do not care for each other very much. That is always a rivalry game. When will Center Grove get a real test? Does it come this week with Cooper and Lawrence North? Franklin Central, HSC, Coach West, Coach Kelly going head-to-head. Avon and Zionsville, the Orioles still very explosive despite their record. And then Fishers Westfield at the very bottom. Oh my gosh, 2 weeks to go. We'll see you out there on Friday night. Thank you for watching the Zone Extra. For executive producer Brian Eckstein and the whole crew, we'll see you next week.